Good evening and welcome to ITV News. This is Wednesday night's calendar.
Good evening. On tonight's programme.
Ignored, unheard and abused. The shocking story of a Bradford grooming gang victim who, despite the repeated warnings of a children's home worker, was left at the mercy of paedophile predators.
Every time she went out, I used to phone social services and the police. And the police actually told me to stop wasting their time or I'd be in trouble for it.
They knew really bad stuff were happening to me, but instead of trying to help me, they made it harder for anyone to help. It's basically made it easier for me to be sexually exploited and targeted.
The care worker spoke out to Calendar for the first time, laying bare the failings of a system which should have protected Fiona and others. We'll have her exclusive story shortly.
Also on the programme tonight. Grave concerns the campaign to honour thousands of people buried at this cemetery, which now forms part of Leeds University campus.
They teach a lot about ethics and they teach a lot about doing the right thing, and they need to do the right thing.
Rise of the robo-cop. Could this new high-tech recruit signal the future of crime fighting?
Join me later in the programme, right here in the heart of the City of Culture, where I'm in final rehearsals with one of the country's leading learning disability theatre companies. Take it away, guys.
A children's home worker has told ITV News how police told her to stop wasting their time after she repeatedly warned them that a vulnerable girl who lived there was being targeted by a grooming gang.
Records from the time seen by this programme show that the home recognised the teenager was at high risk of grooming, yet the agreed intervention was to not contact police unless she was seen being dragged into a car.
Well, both Bradford Council and West Yorkshire Police have admitted serious failings, but questions have been raised as to how many other children may have been let down. The children's home worker has been speaking for the first time to our reporter Amelia Beckett.
I was receiving a lot of injuries. I had broken bones, I was black and blue at times, black eyes constantly.
Fiona should have been safe here. This former children's home, the third she'd lived in during the late 2000s. And yet, she was systematically groomed by men who would pick her up in cars outside, then abuse and rape her.
I was treated worse than a dog. I was treated so bad. It isn't just the sexual harm or the sexual violence, it's the coercion and manipulation, it's the brainwashing and conditioning. There's a lot of that goes in, and once you've been brainwashed and conditioned, you're stuck with that conditioning for life.
From the age of 14, Fiona was exploited in and around Bradford for 5 years. These are some of the men who were jailed in 2019 for raping and abusing her and another girl. But now, speaking for the first time, a care worker who worked in the home where Fiona lived has revealed she reported some of those same men to police and social services as far back as 2010. We've changed her voice and name to protect her identity.
Every time she went out, I used to phone social services and the police to make them aware of what I thought at that time was going on, which was that she was getting groomed. I phoned that often. I actually got told in the end to stop phoning, and the police actually told me to stop wasting their time or I'd be in trouble for it. So at that point then, after this went on for quite a long time, I decided to just check it upon myself and find out names, get reg plates, and basically meet these people, because I actually thought that one of these days she was going to be found dead and nobody would know what had happened to her.
And what did you do about it at that point?
I went to a meeting with social services, and this gang were known. Social services knew. They knew about this gang, the police knew about this gang.
And what did they say?
They just looked at it that she was trouble. But she wasn't. She wasn't trouble, they were. She had nobody that looked out for her, nobody wanted to help. They just wanted to bury their heads in the sands as to what was going on.
We've gained access to these supervision records from when Fiona was under the care of the children's home. These are records used to raise any concerns and help keep children safe. And yet they state that while Fiona was at a high level of risk from unknown males, the agreed intervention was not to report to the police unless there's a concerning change in behaviour or staff witness an incident, such as Fiona being dragged into a car. We showed those records to Fiona. She'd never seen them before now.
It's absolutely baffling, because it's just to say that I'm high risk of sexual exploitation, but rather than intervene, they've put another obstacle in place. It's basically made it easier for me to be sexually exploited and targeted, because unless I'm dragged kicking and screaming, no one's going to help me, even though they know what is happening.
And you're in the care of the authority. Yeah.
And during these periods as well, I was receiving a lot of injuries. They knew really bad stuff were happening to me, but instead of trying to help me, they made it harder for anyone to help.
In response to Amy's claims, West Yorkshire Police told us it recognises victims and survivors of child sexual exploitation and abuse were failed in the past, and significant improvements and investments have been made into tackling this offending. While Bradford Council, which was responsible for Fiona's care at the time, told us we know there were serious failings in how the council and other agencies responded at the time, and we have apologised to Fiona for that. The findings of the review were shared with the independent inquiry into child sexual abuse and the Home Office, and we have acted on its recommendation to improve how we protect children today. There has never been a separate inquiry into the scale of grooming gangs in Bradford. And while last week the government announced its national inquiry would be unwavering in holding all those involved to account, the lawyer who played a pivotal role in exposing wide-scale abuse in Rotherham believes Bradford needs to be thoroughly examined.
We know that 1,400 girls were groomed and sexually assaulted in Rotherham. I think the scale is likely to be bigger in Bradford because many women were trafficked into Bradford. Well, we know what happened in Rotherham. We know how badly affected so many women were because of the failures of the council and the police. I suspect that that's the same type of reaction that's been happening in Bradford, but until there's this type of inquiry, we won't know for sure.
The men who groomed Fiona were sent to jail, her direct abusers held accountable. She now hopes the same for institutions, who she says also failed her. Amelia Beckett, ITV News, Bradford.
Well, Amelia joins us in the studio now. And Amelia, it's a really shocking story, this one, isn't it? And surely it adds more pressure to calls for an inquiry in Bradford.
Yeah, you're right. We've reported a number of times on those repeated calls for an inquiry into grooming gangs, specifically in Bradford. And certainly Amy's testimony adds pressure to that. But the government's announced a national inquiry, and so it seems unlikely there'll be a separate one in the city. Instead, calls now focus on specific targeting of Bradford within that wider inquiry. Now, last week, the Safeguarding Minister, Jess Phillips, did lay out some of the scope for that inquiry, and she said that victims and survivors would be at the heart of it, which Fiona is very pleased about. But when she was pushed by the Keighley and Ilkley MP, Robbie Moore, on whether they would look into Bradford, she said that so far she's had positive reaction from leaders in the city. However, she said any resistance that there may be down the line would be futile. She said every person or institution who looked the other way, like we heard from Amy, will finally be held accountable. And that's certainly something that Fiona is adamant she wants to happen.
OK, well, thank you. We'll certainly watch this story very closely. Thank you, Amelia.
Families of those buried at a cemetery in Leeds are calling for their graves to be marked after their loved ones' headstones and memorials were removed.
Around 100,000 people were buried in Leeds General Cemetery, but it was bought by the University of Leeds in 1956, landscaped, and became part of its campus.
Well, now campaigners have started a petition for recognition of what's happened and, at the very least, a monument to remember those who were interned there. Adam Fowler reports.
St George's Field as it is today, a leafy green area making up part of the Leeds University campus. There's little to indicate that around 100,000 people were laid to rest here. But this is how it looked in 1967, 1 year before the university removed most of the headstones and memorials, changed the name to St George's Field and landscaped it. Now this group of campaigners, who all have relatives buried there, are calling for a permanent tribute to those who remain. Victoria's great-grandfather is one of them. He was awarded a military medal for bravery in the First World War, and she was shocked when she went to visit his grave.
I came along here with my sister recently. We had no prior experience of the cemetery. We didn't know anything about it. When we walked through the gates, we soon realised that there was absolutely nothing there, which was really heartbreaking. I think what they did at the time was completely disgusting. I can't believe that they ever got away with doing it, but there wasn't any legislation in place at the time that stopped them from doing that, which is why they did what they did. However, now in the time and age that we're in, they teach a lot about ethics, and they teach a lot about doing the right thing, and they need to do the right thing.
Steve Terrington is the founder of the Friends of Woodhouse Cemetery and has several relatives buried there.
I want to see the Commonwealth War graves reinstated at least, or at least some sort of memorial there. I mean, if you walk around the cemetery now, you can see memorials to people who are connected to the university, but they aren't buried there. And yet people who are buried there have had their memorials removed. I can't understand it.
Christine's twin sister died when she was just 6 months old. She's been visiting the site for nearly 80 years.
I'm one of the lucky ones. They put a tree in for Pauline, and they also put a plaque up. That's a thing that I'd like for each and every one that's buried in there. We'd like the name changing. We'd like the monument that's in Lawnswood put in the cemetery. We'd like notices on each of the gateways saying that it's a cemetery. There's all those people buried in it, and to treat it with respect.
We would like to see each person in the cemetery individually remembered, but if the university can't do that, or they're saying that they can't do that, we need to have some recognition collectively of everyone that's in that graveyard, and to make sure that they're remembered.
It's 56 years since the freshly landscaped St George's Field opened to the public. The gravestones may be gone, but they're not forgotten, and these campaigners want to make sure they never are.
Well, it's a fascinating and upsetting story for many, of course. Well, let's talk live now to Adam Fowler, who is in Leeds for us. And Adam, what has the University of Leeds had to say about all of this?
Well, in a statement, the university said the land is an important place for reflection and contemplation for the whole community, which we encourage visitors, students and staff to use for reflection in a respectful manner. They said there are signs and a blue plaque that details some of the heritage of the site. They also said they understand the strong emotions of those involved, and they'd look again at the most appropriate way to respect the memories of those interred at St George's Field.
Adam Fowler live in Leeds for us, thank you.
Well, meanwhile, the Home Office is planning to house asylum seekers in a building in Leeds, currently used as student accommodation. Leeds City Council says it has received a planning submission to turn Mary Morris House in Headingley into an asylum hostel. The council does not own the property and says it's been told by the government that it's part of a wider effort to reduce the reliance on hotels.
Well, you're watching Wednesday Night's Calendar. Thanks for being with us. Still to come on the programme tonight.
I'm live in York, where these young cricketers are having one final practice session before their National Cup final this weekend at Lord's.
And weather-wise, over the next few days, we're going to start introducing cooler air all the way down from Greenland. Cool air over warm water means showers, and I'll tell you all about that later on in the programme.
Yes, thanks, James. We'll see you shortly. Now, next, to claims that artificial intelligence is damaging the fashion industry, and the effects are being felt much further afield.
In recent years, there's been a resurgence of models, hasn't there, of all shapes, sizes and backgrounds being used in adverts. But there's now a trend to use perfect models created by AI.
Well, creators say that they're simply giving people what they want, but critics say fake images can be truly harmful. Hannah Ludlow has been investigating.
Plus-size model Maddie Barker thought the fashion industry had changed. Brands were starting to hire models of different sizes and ethnicities, opening the doors to people like her. Now, with the rise of AI models like these, she feels the industry is moving backwards.
It feels kind of like the doors have just been closed in our faces. It's putting everyone back into a box and it's saying, hey, we only like this particular type of body, face, hair. I think it's just setting an extremely unrealistic beauty standard that literally no one can achieve.
The UK-based creators of these AI models say the public want to see flawless features rather than real people.
A lot of the models that you've created look very similar. They're very slim, they've got blonde hair, brunette hair and white skin. Do you feel like there's any scope to create plus-size versions or more diverse models?
Her figure is well fed.
Yeah, like she's not starving.
She's not skinny.
She's just a representation of the brand, and it's the same for everyone. If the brand is only plus size model, then we do plus size model.
Is AI creating unrealistic beauty standards?
We can create wrinkles, we can create freckles, we can create any types of details. But let me tell you that we send more realism to our clients and they asked us to remove the wrinkles. Like, you truly have to be, you depend on what the client wants. But obviously now with so much public exposure, I truly believe we do need to rethink in a way that we show from at least time to time some real beauty standards of real people.
We asked people in Doncaster if they think AI models put pressure on people to achieve a certain beauty standard.
If I had to look at it, I'm like, wow, she's stunning. She's absolutely gorgeous. But I do think it feeds, especially the younger generation, false information and false, like, the beauty standards of what we should look like, if that makes sense.
There's too many expectations in the world as it is. Everyone's trying to be something they're not, and it's just, yeah, like I say, it's not real.
AI should be used for stuff like, I don't know, mathematics and stuff like that, and space programs and stuff like that. But not models, that's a bit dumbed down, innit?
These images of Miley Cyrus recently went viral after many said they promoted unrealistic and dangerous beauty standards. They weren't actually from the real Gucci campaign. They'd been modified by AI and originally looked like this. It's prompted calls for more transparency.
There has to be a legal requirement to tell people that these are AI-generated images. Otherwise, people will just see it, believe it, share it, and before you know it, the narrative is taken off and you are out of control of it.
The government has told ITV News it supports clear labelling of AI-generated material. But as AI continues to redefine faces and figures, critics warn it's not just reshaping the industry, it's distorting our perception of beauty itself. Hannah Ludlow, ITV News.
Oh, that AI, it gets everywhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, I can confirm that this is the real Lara Rostron, by the way.
Yeah, very, very real. And so is this one.
Very real, yeah.
Well, next, from artificial intelligence to futuristic crime fighting. One of our police forces has been showing off its latest canine recruit, which doesn't bark, it doesn't bite, and it can't smell.
But the so-called robo-dog can climb stairs, see in the dark and head straight into dangerous situations ahead of its human colleagues. Peter Byrne has the story.
Meet robo-dog. Smart, cutting edge and ready to be unleashed. Fitted with thermal image cameras, he can see in the dark and go on reconnaissance missions, preparing the ground for firearms officers in situations like armed sieges or building searches.
The benefit of it is you can go into a confined space or a dangerous environment where previously we might have put an officer at risk doing that. This can go in, it can feed video back to its operator, it can use its AI to understand threats in there, so it can do all sorts of things that perhaps quicker and more safely than we previously would.
Nottinghamshire Police have got him here on a 12-week trial. They'll be putting him through his paces in a variety of scenarios. A bit like crime fighting meets crufts.
He's right behind us now, robo-dog, and I believe you might want to say a few words, is that right?
Hello, thank you for having me on.
He talks.
He does talk, yeah, it's quite impressive.
Any advantage to that, or is that just a bit of a gimmick?
No, you know, one of the situations we might use him in is to communicate with people, again, where it's not safe to put an officer in, so yeah, a helpful feature.
Now, while robo-dog has plenty of tricks up his sleeve, he's no replacement for his furry cousins. For a start, he's got no sense of smell, And even though he's no slouch, he's not really cut out to tear after runaway criminals.
I don't think it will replace our real police dogs yet. I think there's lots they can do that it can't, but it's a really impressive piece of kit.
I know it's early days for robo-dog,
yep.
But do you think we could see him on our streets quite soon, doing police work?
I think it's a good chance, yeah. I mean, you know, a variation of this robot, definitely. But I think robotics within the police is such a great idea because it means we're not having to put as many people in danger.
And you personally, what have you made of him? Have you sort of made a bond yet?
I wouldn't go that far. It's interesting technology, it's exciting. You know, I think it will grow on us in time as we understand what it can do and how it can benefit us and the public in Nottinghamshire.
After a hard day's crime fighting, most police dogs look forward to curling up in a basket. Robo-dog is just happy with a recharge.
Yeah, we all need to recharge our batteries sometimes, don't we? That was Peter Beard reporting there. Now, as you know, Bradford is a UK City of Culture for 2025, and we're going to head there now for a behind-the-scenes look at a very special theatre company.
Yes, Mind the Gap is a theatre company with a difference that certainly makes a difference. All its members have varying degrees of learning disabilities, and as Fraser Maud's been finding out, they certainly know how to put on a show.
Good evening, everyone. May I have your attention, please?
This is Mind the Gap, a theatre company right here in the heart of Bradford, at the City of Culture, which has fast become one of the country's leading learning disability theatre companies across the country, especially here in the heart of the City of Culture. It's the perfect place for it. We're in the last rehearsals for a play called The Invite. We've got the director of the play here, Richard Rusk. Richard, what's it like working with the company and all these talented performers?
It's absolutely brilliant. From the first moment we walk into the rehearsal room to the very last minute, they give everything they've got, and we work together collaboratively to tell stories. So it's been a real joy to hear their stories and bring them to life.
Charlie, you're the director of Mind the Gap. Just tell us a little bit more about what it's all about.
Yeah, Mind the Gap is one of England's largest learning disabled theatre companies. We've been making inclusive theatre for the last 35 years, and we're very fortunate to be funded by the National Lottery to make a piece for the City of Culture. So, yeah.
And what sort of facilities does it provide for the community? What are you offering?
I think we have the largest learning disabled academy in the country. We provide at least 7 different training programmes for people to come and learn about theatre and performance, and that be if they're just interested in exploring what it might be, but also if they are really serious about having a career in the arts, we're able to offer quite a lot of different opportunities at different levels.
Fantastic. Well, I'm going to have a chat with a couple of the performers in a second. In the meantime, have a quick look at some of the rehearsals here.
That smells so good. Springy. Perfect.
Well, I've managed to stop rehearsal so I can grab a quick chat with a couple of the stars, Charlotte and Jake. Charlotte, first of all, what does Mind the Gap mean for you?
Mind the Gap means a lot because learning the choreography as well as dialogue as well as movement too, the mixture of.
You've got a lot to learn, haven't you?
We have, yes.
Well, you're doing a brilliant job. Jake, let's have a chat with you. Sure. What does it mean to you to get up here and perform?
Well, Mind the Gap to me is a chance to perform, to progress towards a career as an artist, a professional actor, and a chance to work with amazing people and opportunities inside Mind the Gap and also outside Mind the Gap, and to work with different people and have a challenge.
And a challenge it certainly is. The rehearsals look amazing. Are you looking forward to opening night?
Yes, we are.
Definitely.
Nervous?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
But don't worry, those nerves will be gone by opening night. It starts on the 17th of September in Lister Park. Come along, come and have a look at the guys in action. You won't be disappointed.
Oh, thanks, Fraser. We will, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, finally tonight, a group of young cricketers from York will get the chance to play on hallowed turf this weekend in a National Cup final.
Yes, both the girls and boys teams of the York MCC Foundation Hub have made it through to the National Hubs final at Lords. Well, they've got one final training session this evening before the big day, and Chris Dawkes is live for us this evening. And Chris, I'm sure excitement is building there.
Yeah, not half, Ian. Yeah, well, of course it is. Yeah, how many young cricketers get the opportunity to play at the home of cricket, Lords? Not many. I can tell you, not many professionals actually will get that chance as well. Yes, both the boys and the girls teams from this York Hub have qualified for that final. They've done fantastically well. Let's speak to the boys and the girls captains we've got here. We've got Winnie and we've got Ryan. Winnie, firstly, congratulations on getting to the final. What does it mean to you and to the rest of your teammates to be playing at Lords at the weekend?
Yeah, it's such an incredible experience. We're all really, really excited. It means so much. A lot of us haven't ever been to Lords before, so this is amazing.
You're playing against, is it Guildford in the final? Is
Yes,
that right?
yeah.
They've won it the last 2 times.
Yeah.
Are you confident of bringing it back to Yorkshire?
I've got such an amazing group of girls. I'm confident we've got this. Yeah, we're going to win.
Fingers crossed, we hope you do. Let's speak to Ryan as well. Ryan, I mean, for you and your mates, what a chance to play at Lords. Think of how many players, current international cricketers have graced that hallowed turf.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing to just play there. I was excited at the start of the year to go play in the tournament, and now I'm really excited to go play there and do everything that we can.
And you've done so well. You're playing against Leighton. You've got a good chance, do you reckon? Because Bradford won it last year, so the chance to bring it back to Yorkshire again.
Yeah, hopefully. We got beat by Bradford last year. So
Sorry for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Painful memories.
Hopefully we can do what they did last year and beat Leighton and bring it back.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Good luck to you both. Let's speak to one of the coaches down here. 2 of the coaches, in fact. We've got Phoebe down here, who's a professional cricketer herself, former Yorkshire lass, of course, as well. Currently playing for Durham. We'll hold that against you, though, Phoebe. But what an achievement by these players here.
Yeah, they've done absolutely outstanding. To say last year we lost in the semi-finals, then they've gone one better this year. It's just incredible, and they're all very talented cricketers, and they all deserve a place in the final. So yeah, it's hats off to them. They've worked really hard in the winter. So yeah, really excited for the final.
And just quickly, Mick, this is a hub. It's not a club, is it? So what does that mean exactly?
So that means that it's money put in by private people to actually push state school kids to play cricket. And there can be nobody from an independent school or a county age group pathway. So it's to try and get as many of those state educated kids into cricket as possible.
Yeah, fantastic scheme. Thank you so much for talking to us, and good luck to everyone who's going down there. Yes, what an opportunity for these young cricketers. One final training session, as you mentioned. All we need now is the weather to hold firm.
Thanks, Chris.
That is very true. Thank you very much, Chris. And I think I recognise those nets. I think my boys have been playing in those cricket nets
You spend
over
a lot
the
of
years.
time there, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, talking of the weather, let's get the forecast. Here's James Wright.
A clear start makes way for a day of ancient discoveries. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hi there, good evening. A few showers around today, some bright spells too, but a lot more showers to come. Certainly this evening, the back end of this little front's got some sharp showers attached to it. Even once that's cleared, we're going to stay in a rather unsettled vein as we head through the week and into the weekend, and those showers set to continue overnight too. The weekend itself may turn out to be a rather wet and windy affair. This evening then, we've got all these little bands of showers. This back end one could be the sharp one. Shouldn't last too long before clearing, and then for the bulk of the night it's going to be essentially dry. 1 or 2 showers might still continue to sneak in, but like I say, some good clear spells around, and temperatures, because of the breeze, not actually falling too far, looking at lows of 10 or 11 Celsius. So tomorrow then, some nice bright weather to start the day. Won't be too long before we start to see the showers getting going, and then add to that a bit of daytime heating, and that'll perk the showers up into something a little bit sharper. If there's an upside, it's going to be a little bit breezy tomorrow. That will help to push the showers through, but it won't take too many leaves off a tree to block a drain, and we could see some surface water issues to take care on the road. As far as temperatures, well, we are starting to see some cooler, fresher air starting to move in behind the fronts from today. So looking at highs of around 16 to 19 Celsius, getting much closer to average for the time of year. And then we're going to see more showers as we head into Friday. Some of these showers actually continuing overnight. Temperatures 18 Celsius at best. Rinse and repeat on Saturday, and then more heavy rain potentially on Sunday.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There we go. That's it, isn't it? That is all from us, but Mary Nightingale is next.
Yes, and everyone will be back at 10:30. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.